Good evening, everybody. Rick Yocklin here with Dying a Detroit Lions fan. Just a really quick little YouTube video this time. I'm also going to turn around and take the audio for my podcast. But all I'm really doing with this is just saying that this is a test with new equipment that I have. I finally have a microphone. Was able to figure out how to actually hook it to my iPad in addition so that I can take this program on the road to local bars, as well as down to the Lions game itself. And hopefully, MGM is going to allow me to go ahead and go into the sports book and do a pregame and postgame, pregame, halftime, and postgame YouTube video from their sports book. But I'm still waiting for confirmation on that. With everything going on in Michigan right now with the virus, um, I can't seem to get a final answer. Things are looking good, but I just don't have the right person to speak to yet that's going to be able to give me the information one way or another if it's a yes or a no. The other thing I wanted to do is I've told everybody that I'm going to complete a whole package basically with this, having the YouTube channel, the podcast, um, a Facebook group, which I have acting now as a web page, and eventually a web page. Um, with the web page, I basically got the domain squared away already, but I just haven't got to work on the web page itself. I am going to have some help with that, thank God. And the person that's going to help me is also doing some graphics for me. And I'm trying to come up with a logo that's something that I can have printed on shirts, hoodies, things along those lines. So I'm coming to you today because I want you to take a vote on two templates that we have right now as potential. Um, this is the first one. This is a picture that could be a logo that we will use. And as you can see, basically it is a tombstone with the spirit of the lion coming out of it for the Detroit Lions, hence the name, okay? And secondarily, another one that we have is another one, a little bit different coffin instead of a tombstone. And again, it does have the spirit of the lion coming out of that. So, tombstone number one, coffin number two. If you would, give me a vote on those. Just send a message in the bottom of the YouTube. Send a message as to which one you like more. The idea behind that is, and that's just a rough thing. We'll choose one of those two, but there'll be some more actual wording in it. The name of the podcast, the name of the group, or the name of the YouTube channel will be included in it. But I definitely want to get a couple of golf shirts made up for myself in regards to those. Plus, I'll probably do some tees, long sleeve tees, and we'll do hoodies once the fall comes. And I'm not going to be out making a bunch of money on these. It'll basically be, a little bit over what I cost is, and depending upon if people are willing to pay their own postage or not, that'll determine the price too. But that's something we can come up with. So if you notice in the show notes, though, or if you do look into the show notes, um, I will have a link to the Facebook group that's in there now also. And again, like the video, number one. Number two, follow me. That'd be nice. Hit the subscribe button. And then number three, leave a message as to which logo you kind of like are leaning towards as a possible thing that will be on merchandise shirts. Um, so just leave me a message, either A for the tombstone or B for the coffin. But I appreciate it if you guys would please go ahead and vote that for me or do that for me. And with any hope, I'll have that thing squared away in the next month or so, and we'll get going. One other quick comment is the fact that I mentioned before that I have started taking names of people that want to play in a Dying a Detroit Lions fan one, um, number one, I should say, um, fantasy football league, which will be played on the platform I'll use will be the NFL Network's platform. I love NFL Network because they upgrade or update so fast. Plus, I can customize the league totally, and I mean totally. You're going to end up having a roster of about 29 players. You're going to include defensive players in games, defensive linemen, linebackers, defensive backs, and then you got a specialty one you can have in there too, or an individual player, another individual player. Plus, you get your defense. Our points are very high. Instead of 1 point for every 25 yards passing or 1 point for every 10 yards rushing, everything we do is point per yard. So, including return yards, all that stuff is calculated in that way. Our scores get to be very high. They could be in excess of between 2,000 and 3,000 points in a given week. So it is a fun league. So if you're interested in playing that, I would suggest you be an experienced player in fantasy football. The draft will happen Labor Day weekend or right around there, anyways. I don't like to do a draft until final rosters have been cut and set, so that you don't have to go through the hassle of finding that you got 5 players on your team that aren't even on your team anymore, or maybe picked up someplace else. I don't know if you still want them, whatever the case may be. So consider that. In the show notes, there will be my email address. If you send me an email, I will turn around and send me an email with your name and email address, and I will contact you back. I'm going to have 12 players in the league, and like I said, I'm already accepting some people. So I have been getting people hit me up on the Facebook group, and we will go from there. But anyways, have a great night. Remember to vote for me, please. Tell me which logo you like best, either the tombstone or the coffin. And thank you. Have a great night, and we will be back very, very soon.